So we start off with coronavirus delays, which I thought we were done with that. But it turns out there are a lot of. It turns out people suck. So yeah, movie theaters are still closed. It's mostly movie theaters that are getting fucked. Like TV seems to be back. Video games, there was never much of a problem with video games there. Movies are getting fucked still. We got a delay for Tenet. It's now indefinite, though I believe it has like kind of an international release date of like September 3rd or something. They're gonna launch it wherever movie theaters are open. Hopefully, there are movie theaters open around me by that time, because they're not open right now. New Mutants, strangely enough, kept its release date. Um, Although in America, I believe it's coming out like September. I'm not quite sure. I'm not. I think it's still August. Mulan got delayed. But we'll talk about that later because there's a big deal with that. And then we got some other movies like we got fucking what was it? Quiet Place Part 2 is delayed to next year. Forgot when. I think like March or at least early next year, 2021. And then Top Gun Maverick got delayed to summer of 2021. That is a summer movie though, so that makes sense. It originally got delayed to December this year, so it makes sense, I guess. And there are rumors of Dune getting delayed, although at the time of recording this, nothing has happened yet. So, yeah, that's all on that. Don't quite. Why do people suck so much? Anyways, we're going to talk about some smaller topics before we get into the bigger stuff. We don't have a whole lot of stuff to talk about today, but should hit an hour, so at least that much, you know. So, I want to briefly talk about, let's see, I have a whole list here. Oh, San Diego Comic-Con happened a few weeks ago, and it fucking flopped. I don't have a whole lot to say about this, which is why it's going into like the smaller topics. But it's just like it just doesn't work as well. I mean, yeah, you can say like everyone gets to go to Comic-Con this year because it's like an all digital event, but I mean, they marketed it poorly. If you're gonna have a digital Comic-Con, you gotta market it well, and they didn't. Like the most views Comic-Con got this year was probably New Mutants, where the most interesting thing was that they weren't delaying it, and they made fun of the fact that it got delayed a million times. So, yeah, there was like nothing else that came from Comic-Con as well, and there was even Justice Con, where basically it was all about the Snyder Cut for Justice League, and that wasn't a part of Comic-Con, but that destroyed Comic-Con this year. So, yeah, and we also got to see how much Zack Snyder really hated the original cut of Justice League. He said he'll burn every copy of the original cut. He's committed to making this new cut, but yeah, it's just like if you're gonna have a digital Comic-Con, you gotta market it better than how you did. No one knew about it. Like, I remember finding out, I remember getting, sorry if you can hear background noise, by the way, but I remember hearing videos, or watching this one video, basically giving times and everything for each digital panel, and that was like the day of, or the day before Comic-Con, where I'm reminded, oh yeah, Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con is happening this year, but digitally. God, it is hot in here. So, I'm sorry. if I might seem a little distracted. But yeah, that's all I got for that. I don't want to dwell on this one too much, but in last month a movie came out called The Old Guard on Netflix, and most Netflix originals sort of like they're hit or miss. This was a hit though. I actually really like this one. I felt like this might be one of my favorite films of the year, so I feel like I should talk about it. Like it might be top three because it was just very, very entertaining to watch. Because you got Charlize Theron in it as like this like fucking spy soldier chick, whatever. And the whole theme, the whole concept rather of fucking the old guard is immortality. I don't want to spoil anything really. Go watch it. It's on Netflix, so it's free. And I know you have Netflix in one way or another, so yeah. Definitely just wanted to mention the old guard. So yeah. Another thing I want to talk about briefly is there's a state of play last week, and nothing too interesting happened. There's footage for Godfall, which every time they show that game, I'm a bit mixed on it. And then there's also footage for Crash Bandicoot 4, which was probably the highlight of the state of play. But and then there's also this game called The Pathless, which looks really good, the next gen game. But then there's this one game called Aeon Must Die, and this one is quite interesting as it may actually already be canceled. So on the in the state of play, um, they showed the trailer for that game, but one of the people who worked on the game. Sorry if you hear clicking, but that's me finding it. Uh, Someone who worked on the game uploaded it to their own YouTube channel, and the video is called "Aeon Must Die" original version. Truth in the description. So the truth, this could be like sort of a hoax or something. It could be fake, but you notice the fact that like it's original version, which means that it's not the same as the version we got in the state of play. So therefore, this actually has some different footage as shown, as opposed to the footage shown in the state of play. So I can believe that this is definitely a real. So in the description reads, this trailer was recreated with abuse, manipulation, and theft. Find out the truth about the development of this game here, and gives a link to a Dropbox. People who have worked on every shot of this are no longer with the company holding IP rights. Some were not even paid for their work. This trailer has a pending conflict of IP. The real IP for the game was stolen from the creators via foul play. Final reaction of the publisher to this information remains to be seen. So, this is like a fucking scandal here. You know what I mean? This is like, basically, the game seems to have been stolen, and if it actually looks pretty fun, but I don't know if I want to support this because some fucked up shit went on behind the scenes to potentially get this out. Who knows if it's even gonna come out? If it does, I'm not gonna buy it just because of this. If you're gonna buy it, please know you're supporting a game that was made with manipulation, theft, and a bunch of bad shit. So it's crazy that they also just threw that into the state of play. So yeah, that's definitely interesting right there. Some other stuff we can talk about. Ooh. I wanted to talk about this quickly. I talked about this in Chillin With The Miikcast, and that's right. I kind of have another podcast now. not sure if I can call it a podcast. It's more like me and the Miikcast boys just talk about random shit. I have a Twitch channel. It's Chillin With The Miikcast. It's streamed live on my Twitch channel, and I've re-uploaded to the Miikcast YouTube channel. Yeah. Me and the Miikcast. If you don't know, the Miikcast is like a collab channel with all my friends. We just talk about random shit for like more than an hour. Like, it goes on for a while. So yeah, but we briefly talked about SpongeBob Anime in Chillin With The Miikcast. And, look, I'm not the biggest anime person. I used to love SpongeBob, that's for sure. But my thing here is, it's quite impressive, by an independent YouTuber as well. Forgot who it was. Let's see. I should credit this shit. SpongeBob Anime. Narmak. Props to Narmak. He did a good job on this. What wasn't okay, though, was YouTube basically took down the video because it wasn't made for kids, even though Narmak never said it was. Like, you know how there's the option to select whether or not it's for kids? He apparently selected not for kids, and YouTube took the video down and gave him 2 strikes because the video is not kid-friendly. So that's fucked up. This is like... It eventually went back up, but it took a mob of people yelling at YouTube to put it back up. That shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't. You know, because YouTube, like, they're a bit unorganized, you know. I mean, yeah, though everyone's fucking unorganized right now, but I mean, like, they've always been very unorganized. And I knew adding this, thing about, you know, children's content, or is it not children's content, I knew there'd be fuck-ups there, and this is one of them. And it's not, you gotta, like, I don't, you gotta fucking, I don't know, you can't be unorganized like this, because this is going to happen again. It's gonna keep happening, it's not gonna stop, unless YouTube, you know, knows what the fuck they're doing with this. So yeah, with SpongeBob Anime, it's quite impressive, I will say. Let's see, what do I got? What else do I got? Is that all the smaller topics? Oh yeah, last episode I talked about fucking the possibility of Microsoft buying WB, and that is because AT&T for some reason wanted to sell WB. I left this out of the of last episode where I covered this, but it turns out they wanted to sell WB for like $4 billion. Microsoft was looking into acquiring them, but then so was like EA, Rockstar, a bunch of companies like that. Rockstar, I think I'd be okay with. EA, I don't want that. Like, EA would they would make a new Mortal Kombat game. It would suck dick, and they would shut down NetherRealm. They'll make a Batman Arkham game littered with microtransactions. No one would like it, and they'd shut down fucking Rocksteady immediately. So that's dumb. So luckily, AT&T realizes that, one, they got they got some good IPs on them. 2, they offered WB for way too much. $4 billion? No. So, they kept them, which is good. Because those games are moneymakers. Mortal Kombat, Batman Arkham, Injustice, and the whole 2 games, I'm sure they did really well, though. Like, why would you want to, I just don't understand, you know. Sorry, it's really hot in here. You might see me do this, but, I never understood why AT&T would want to sell, fucking WB. So they're not now, and 4 billion is quite a bit, especially right now. So yeah,